Today we are doing another building your home bar video, and we're going to be focusing on glassware. There is a lot of different glassware out there, and it's very easy to get overwhelmed when you're trying to source it. So today we're going to cut through a little bit of that, and I'm going to just show you what you need and why you need it. So the first glass that we're going to be talking about today is the coupe. Well, it's actually kind of a twofer. It's going to be the coupe and the Martini glass, which is actually called a cocktail glass. So the coupe is a champagne glass. It was very popular in the 1920s and 1930s. It was actually designed in 1663 in England. It was designed specifically to hold champagne. There is a legend that this glass was modeled after Marie Antoinette's breast, but that's actually can't be true because it was designed in 1663, like I said, which was over a century before Marie Antoinette was born.
This is ridiculous.
This, madame, is Versailles.
So the Martini glass, which is the most iconic for martinis, and that's why people refer to it as a Martini glass, is actually called a cocktail glass. This glass was created in the 1920s, 1925, for the World Fair in Paris, and it was designed as a modern twist on the coupe. It was originally used to hold champagne as well. So these were all champagne glasses. We have since adopted them for cocktail use. Really, the difference between these two glasses are preference. I like to keep all of them on hand depending on what I want the cocktail to sort of come across as if I'm pushing it across the bar to somebody. For my coupes, I like to have two different coupes on hand, a 6-ounce coupe, which is really good for making sure that your cocktails will fit inside with a nice wash line. So if you guys don't know what a wash line is, it is the space between the top of the cocktail and the top of the glass. And this is specifically important when you're working in either a service well in a bar or even just in a bar and you're passing the cocktail along to a waiter. You want to make sure that the waiter who has the cocktail, most typically on a tray, won't spill the cocktail as they bring it to the guest. And so you want to make sure that you have a nice healthy wash line. So the other coupe that I like to have on hand is a 5.5-ounce coupe. It's just a smidge smaller than the other one. I just really like the weight of this glass and I like the shape of it. I think that it evokes the 1930s, which is the decade that really made these glasses very popular. This one is from Libby. And I want you to note that if you put a cocktail in here, let's say like a 3-ounce cocktail that you stirred, or definitely a shaken cocktail where you're adding a little bit more dilution, you are not gonna have a wash line on this. It's gonna fill right to the brim. Some people like that, some people don't. The thing about wash lines is you don't want to have too much of a wash line in your drink because then it just looks like a tiny drink in a big glass, and you don't want your cocktail to be super overfull because you want to be shaking when you're like, it's like this. Even if you don't shake like this when you're drinking your cocktail, when you have an overfull glass and you're trying not to spill, it's very hard not to spill it all over the place. So this glass I use interchangeably with my coupe. I use it to basically change the style of the drink or to evoke a different emotion in the person who's drinking the drink. Most typically I'll serve a martini in something like this. To me, it really evokes that kind of mid-century, kind of modern feel, you know, kind of Rat Pack style feel, even though this was invented, you know, very many years before, the 25 years before the Rat Pack were ever anything. I still just feel like it just kind of evokes that sort of Sinatra-esque kind of vibe or Sammy Davis Jr.-esque kind of vibe. Can't you see one of those guys drinking out of like this particular glass? And so that's what I use it for. I really like it. I think it's nice to have all three of these on hand. If I were gonna pick two glasses, I would pick these two. This one is really just for preference, but these are the two that I'm using most often. So the next cocktail glass that we're gonna be talking about is a Nick and Nora. The Nick and Nora is a 1930s cocktail glass, much like the coupe or the Martini glass. It is smaller in volume. It usually comes in between 5 to 5.5 ounces, and it is made to hold low volume stirred drinks. The glass's name was inspired by fictional characters from a Dashiell Hammett book called The Thin Man, which was published in 1933. Their names were Nick and Nora Charles. Nick was an alcoholic detective that was married to a wealthy heiress named Nora. So the book wasn't the catalyst to name this glass the Nick and Nora. It was actually the 1934 movie of the same name, where you can see Nick and Nora heartily taking part in 1930s cocktail cultures, and in many, many scenes they are using these little tiny glasses. And the thing is that the shape of glasses that they are using are a little bit less like this bell shape and a little bit more like a very small martini glass or a very small coupe. The one that I have here is from Amehla company, and it is a 5-ounce coupe. I really like this one a lot because it has this nice honeycomb etching on it. It's just very nice and elegant. So there it is, guys, the Nick and Nora. So the next glass that we're going to be talking about is the old-fashioned glass. Now, I don't have a specific history on this. I don't even know if there's like a specific and interesting history that really exists, other than that it is named after the cocktail that most often goes inside it. It is also known as a lowball glass. I have heard, I don't know if this is 100% true, that the true old-fashioned glass is an etched glass, whereas the non-etched glass is a lowball. And Marius pointed out off camera that it is also sometimes called a tumbler, which is absolutely true. So the glass that I most often use is this nice 13-ounce rocks glass. I really like it for its heavy base. And then also I really like a very big glass, because a big glass can hold big ice. The bigger the ice you have in your glass, the more surface area of ice touches the cocktail, the chillier the cocktail will stay. This is also just like a nice, kind of style to evoke a different feeling as well. I will say also that when you're sourcing glassware, well, I don't know if this is going to be advice to you guys, because you guys do what you guys want to do. When I source glassware, I like to source glassware that doesn't have a seam. When a cocktail glass has a seam, it means that it was made with a mold as opposed to being blown glass. And to me, it just does not look really right. And that seam, call it OCD or what have you, really takes away from my enjoyment of the cocktail. I really feel like that seam doesn't do the cocktail any favors, doesn't do the visual aspect of your cocktail any favors anyway. Here's another one that we got from Amehla as well, which is just really nice because you can put a big piece of ice in here. You've got that nice clear ice, and then the glass almost disappears. It's almost as if the cocktail is suspended kind of in air because the glass is just so thin, and it's just really nice presentation. The last one that we have here is a neat glass. So basically, of your rocks glasses or your old-fashioned glasses, you have two different styles, right? You've got your lowball, right? Rocks glass made to have ice in it. And then you have a neat glass, which is kind of mainly used for a tasting or neat pours. So for those of you that don't know, and I know most of you guys do, but for those of you that don't, a neat pour is just a pour of spirit into a glass without ice. There are also various cocktails that also will be stirred and then poured without any ice, like, I don't know, a Sazerac or something. And so you can serve them in these small glasses. So the next cocktail glass that we're going to be talking about is the Collins glass or the Highball glass. And there's a distinction to be made between the two. I've read a lot of different things about this particular style of glass, and from what I gather, the Highball glass was a glass that was created in the 1800s, and it typically ranges from about 8 to 10, sometimes 12 ounces if they're really big, whereas the Collins glass, which originated a little bit later, ranges from 12 to 16 ounces. So I have 3 different examples of a Tom Collins or a Highball glass here. I use all of them for different reasons, and you should have these different sizes. So the first size that I have is a 10-ounce glass. I use this for the Ramos Gin Fizz, most specifically, or any fizz at all. You need to have a smaller highball glass. Actually, if I had my way, I would make a 9-ounce highball glass or even an 8-ounce highball glass for a fizz, because you want to lengthen the cocktail with soda, but you don't want to add too much or you're going to over dilute the cocktail. Fizzes are typically a drink that are served off ice, and the chilliness of the drink comes from the chilliness of the soda. So you want to make sure that you have enough in there to balance the cocktail out and lengthen the flavors, which is the purpose of putting water inside a cocktail, but you don't want to over dilute it. So you'll need a small one. Typically, I'll use a 12-ounce glass for cocktails like a Buck or a Mule or a Tom Collins, really because you're just putting ice in there, it's displacing volume, and so you're controlling your dilution that way. So the last one is a 14-ounce Collins glass. You can also find them in 16 ounces. Anything that is this high volume, I usually use when I want to serve a cocktail that either has a lot of volume in and of itself before dilution, or if I'm serving over pebble ice. Although I will say, if it's a small amount of volume of cocktail that's being served over pebble ice, I will usually serve that in a large 13-ounce old-fashioned glass. And then these long drinks are for cocktails that are a lot more voluminous. Also, other than that, with those kind of pebble ice cocktails, it's just nice, clean presentation. So the very last glass you're gonna wanna have in your basic bar setup is a champagne flute. Aside from special occasions like New Year's Eve and weddings and whatever, else you drink champagne doing. Maybe, I don't know, watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills late at night while you cry alone in your room. That could be one of the festive kind of reasons that you have this glass. I don't know, I'm not judging. Quite a few cocktails go in these glasses, so even if you don't typically drink champagne, you're still gonna wanna have this glass. Drinks like the French 75 go in here, the Airmail, basically anything that's finished off with anything sparkling. Doesn't even have to be champagne. If it's finished off with sparkling hard kombucha or even cider, you might want to present it in a glass like this because they're nice, tall, and elegant. So there you have it, guys, the 6 basic cocktail glasses that you need in your home bar to make the widest variety of cocktails possible. If you found this video entertaining and informative, or maybe just entertaining, or maybe just informative, let me know in the comments below and I can make another one. Extra credit glassware is the thing. There are many other glasses that we can go over so that you guys can go forward confidently in your cocktail journey.